all, and welcome to my channel. And today we are filming my winter TBR. This is the first time I'm sitting down and filming like a seasonal TBR, but I figured why not give myself a little bit more of a broad TBR, something that I don't necessarily have to finish in a month. I technically have about 3 months to read them. I'll still be doing my monthly TBRs. I just wanted a little bit more of like, well, truth be told, I just wanted to free up some space on my shelf. I have way more books than I have shelf space, unfortunately, so I wanted to pull some of these books to live on my TBR cart. I also really just wanted a list of books that I could look at and attempt to choose from to kind of help narrow down my TBR a little bit. Obviously, it's not going to be completely narrowed down because I still have a ton of books that I need to read, but basically that's the whole point of this video. First of all, some of these are on this list because they are Christmas specific, more so the romance. I don't think there's anything other than romance that's Christmas specific. Some of these are winter specific, or at least fit the vibes of winter. And then some of these are only on here because I want to read them as soon as I possibly can fit them onto a TBR. And this is really just my push to try to prioritize them. I feel like I'll prioritize them more if they're on a TBR than if they were not. Let's start with the Christmas specific ones. Like I said, those are all romance. I usually stack up on Christmas romances as the year begins. And then sometimes I read them and sometimes I don't. So one that has been on my TBR for, I think this is the third year in a row, is Once Upon a December. This follows our main character, Astra Noel Snow. Of course, it's a Christmas name. And she stumbles upon this town, but she doesn't realize that it only appears once a year. Once you leave it, you kind of forget about it, but she comes back every single year. And even though she doesn't remember discovering it, this man named Jack, who lives in this town, always remembers her, and it's about their love story. And I have tried reading this. This will be the third time now, and while I'm enjoying it when I'm reading it, there's something about it that just doesn't push me to actually follow through and complete it. So if I don't read it this year, it's gonna end up getting unhauled. The rest of these I got last year. This is Snowden for Christmas. To be very honest, I don't remember what this is about. It looks like we're following our main character who gets stuck in a cabin. She gets stuck in a blizzard with this sexy Grumposaurus football coach. Okay, sure. To be very honest, sometimes I just grab Christmas romances because I'm in the mood for a Christmas romance and don't actually look at what they're about. This is the holiday mix-up. This is basically While You Were Sleeping Christmas edition. I've never actually watched the movie While You Were Sleeping, but I have seen many clips of it, and I pretty much know the gist of it. If you don't know what While You Were Sleeping is about, it is basically about this woman who pretends to be in a relationship with this guy who's in a coma and ends up falling in love with his brother instead. That's pretty much the vibes of this. And The Trouble with Tinsel is a second chance romance following two characters who work together on a movie set, I believe. So now we can get into a little bit more wintry / icy settings. First of all, this one isn't necessarily winter based because hockey season is anywhere from late September to March. But this one is The Chase by Elle Kennedy. I ended up getting this copy when we went to Florida. It is an ice hockey romance by a very popular author, and I've been really interested and excited to read it and to read more hockey romance because it is a very popular and well-loved subgenre in trope. It's not really a trope. Yeah, it's like a subgenre of romance books. And my fiance loves hockey, so why not? Beyond the North Wind, not sure if this is necessarily winter, but something about it, I think my brain just associates with winter. This is one of Benson's books, but it's one that I've been wanting to read for a little while, and I'll just read the first line. Vikings, runes, Norse religion, and Greek mythology. These are just some of the topics Christopher McIntosh weaves together in his fascinating exploration of the mythical concept of the North. The fall and the rise of the mystic North. I don't know. I'm interested. The Boys of Winter is another one of Benson's books. It is a nonfiction book about 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey. Beau at Ballard Creek. This is one that I got in our little free library, and it has been calling to me to read during the winter time. This is, all I really know about it is that it's a cute little middle grade about a young girl named Beau who's headed for an Alaskan orphanage. Green Glass House, this is one that does take place during the winter holidays. It's another middle grade that I got from our little free library. It's one that I know many people, even if they aren't huge fans of middle grade, have read and loved. And I have tried picking it up in the past, but it was around the time that I wasn't super into ebooks, and I think I was trying to read the ebook version. So hopefully I'll have a little bit better luck with the physical read. And The Night Circus, of course, is a reread. It is one that I'm sure most of you, if you are on this channel, know is my favorite book of all time. This is clearly a well-loved edition. I do have 3 editions. But it's one that I want to read. A lot of people say you should read this during the fall season. I kind of disagree with that. I feel like this is a really good winter Christmas read, and that's usually the time that I enjoy rereading it. This will be my 3rd time reading this book, and I am so beyond excited to be back in this world. If you don't know what this is about, I'm always very hesitant on recommending this book, but it is about 2 young wizards who are thrust into this competition of sorts. Neither of them really know the stakes. They barely know that they're in a competition. They're just kind of forced there. But what happens when they end up falling in love and risking a lot more than just winning or losing a game? I'm not really sure if this takes place in the winter, but something about the outfits on the front cover kind of are like, hey, wintertime, just because it's the fur. But that's Dragons of Deceit. I have read, so this is part of the Dragonlance series. I have read that you don't need to read any of the other books to read this one. It is set in a whole, the same world, but a whole different story is going on. I'm gonna try to read this, and if I'm confused or I want to know more about the world, then I might just end up temporarily DNFing it and starting the Dragonlance series. This one's definitely not necessarily winter vibes, but reading the first book in the series, I particularly loved the parts that were set during Christmas. So for some reason my brain associates the whole series with Christmas, even though it's definitely not. It's Wondersmith. I really want to continue on with the series of Nevermore. I love this so much. I loved the first book so much, and I'm dying to continue on with the series, even though I know whatever the 4th book in the series is called, that one won't be out for a few years at this point, or maybe 2025. Either way, we're not getting it for a little while, and I don't know why I want to rush through the series, but I really do just want to read it and continue on and hopefully have as much fun with the 2nd and 3rd book as I did with the 1st. So these are the ones that are not necessarily or not related to winter at all, but I really want to read now. Another middle grade that I got from our little free library, and that is Escape from Mr. Lemoncello's Library. This is another series that I've heard a lot of fun, great things about, and it's one that I'm very intrigued to pick up. To be very honest with you, I keep forgetting that I own this book, so I'm hoping that putting it on a TBR is going to make me remember to actually pick it up and read it. Bloody Rose is the sequel to Kings of the Wild. It's not a direct sequel, it's more of a companion. This one follows Bloody Rose. She is the daughter of one of the mercenaries in Kings of the Wild, and this is her story, but it's also the story of Tam, who becomes her bard, and the adventures that they end up going on. I loved the first book. It is one of my favorite fantasies of all time. Top 2 or top 3 fantasies of all time. I love it so much, and I have tried picking this one up before. I think it's just a case of A, not loving it as much as the first one, and B, it's a thick book. But again, this will be the third time that I'm picking this one up, so if I don't complete it this time, it's gonna have to get unhauled, so I really would like to fit it on here. How to Become a Dark Lord and Die Trying. This is one that everybody has talked about. This is one of my most anticipated of the year. I think I'm gonna have so much fun with it. It's about our main character who is sick and tired of being the hero and being defeated by the Dark Lord. So she ends up trying to become the Dark Lord. I think it has those vibes of Killed Farm Boy that I really enjoyed, and I'm really excited to see what I think of it. Again, I've heard so many good things about it. I'm so excited. The Art of Prophecy is one that I really, really, really want to get to. This is one that has been staring at me on my shelf for the longest time, and it's just screaming at me to pick it up. This is one that I've definitely bought because of the cover, but the more that I looked into it, the more I was intrigued to see exactly what or where the story was going to go. This basically poses the question, what happens when everyone your whole life has been telling you that you are part of a prophecy, you're going to be the one to defeat the villain, and because you assumed that you're going to be the one to defeat the villain, you're not really trying to beat the villain. This doesn't take place in second person. This is just how I'm posing it. Basically, you're the chosen one. Like, what happens when you're not really working to defeat him, and somebody else ends up swooping in and taking your place and defeating the villain on their own? What do you do from there? And that's exactly the kind of question that our main character has to figure out and decide where their life is going to go. And this one's a little bit more personal. I didn't necessarily feel the need to pick this up anytime soon, but I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and she had mentioned not enjoying a book because she found out that it had a love triangle in it that she was not expecting and she did not enjoy. And I hate love triangles, but she really wants somebody to talk about this book with, and I own the book. So I figured, why not try to fit it into a TBR as soon as I can so that we can talk about it and possibly hate discuss it or hate review it together. And that is Daughter of the Moon Goddess. This is one that I have been really excited to pick up for a long time and haven't because of the size of it. It's a little intimidating. And then my friend said something about it, and I don't know. I feel like now I'm more intrigued to pick it up to see how I feel about it. I'm more nervous to pick it up now that I know there is a love triangle in it. I don't know, love triangles are typically like a complete no thank you for me. Usually if I hear it has a love triangle in it, I immediately am no longer interested in picking it up. It gets removed from my TBR. This one, I'm still just so interested in the mythology behind it, in the story. I want to see where it goes, and hopefully the love triangle is, I don't know, hopefully the love triangle comes second to the actual story, but with it being a YA fantasy, I very much doubt it. Okay, coming to you after I actually finished filming this video. I was actually just looking at my bookshelf and realized I forgot to mention there are 2 more books that I need to add onto this TBR because I'm actually utilizing my book club square for the first time pretty much all year, and I'm joining in the read along for the Faithful and the Fallen series, starting with Malice. So this will be the book for November and December, and then the sequel, which I think is Valor, if I'm not mistaken, is the book for January and February. So those 2 books will be on my Winter TBR either way, so figure why not talk about them. I don't really know what the series is about other than it is very thick and chunky, but it's one that I've seen so many people talk about and love. And when Becca from Becca in the Books, who hosted Spookopoly, announced that the next series for the Catch Up Book Club, which is her book club, and that this was the next series, I just finally decided to pick it up and buy it and hopefully enjoy it. I've got 2 months to read this. I don't know if I'm going to start it sooner rather than later, which probably not, because I still have quite a few books that are on my currently reading that I need to get to, but those 2 will also be on the Winter TBR. Those are all of the books that I really would like to read this season. Let me know if you have any of these on your immediate TBR, or what books you want to read in the winter down in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Give me some new ideas. If you think there are any books that I absolutely need to read in the winter, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see any more from me, as well as Benson, who's a frequent member on this channel. Though I don't know how much longer they'll be a frequent member on this channel if they keep playing Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You, but altered versions. I will leave all of their links down in the description box below, as well as links to my social media if you want to get any more updates from me. But until then, mwah, goodbye.